Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel, and welcome back to the final regular season episode of the Kansas City Royals rebuild. That is right. Last episode I explained what was happening, so go back and listen to the beginning of the last episode if you missed it. Basically, to summarize, I'm taking a little bit of a break in between the end of these series and the beginning of MLB The Show 24 because I've been doing this since the beginning of March or around March of 2023 last year when MLB The Show 23 came out. I've been going for basically a year, barring any stoppages from when I had those computer problems and PlayStation problems late last year. But for the most part, I've been going for basically a whole year. And I need a little bit of a break between now and the start of MLB The Show 24. I don't really want to just end this series and end both of the series that I'm doing right now and then go jump right into two more series for 24. So I'm going to take a slight break, about a month and a half probably, and then we'll be right back ready to go. But since I'm ending the series, this is the final September call-up we will have in the Royals series. It's been fun. It has been fun. And this is not going to be the last video of the Royals because we're going to make the playoffs. As you saw, we're 91-44. We're having quite the season, one of our best seasons as a team, which is funny enough. I mean, we went 95 and 67, we went 94 and 68, and then last year we went 103 and 59. So we're right up there with some of our best seasons we've had in this series. And we're going to have postseason action, at least one video after this one for the postseason. Hopefully it goes a little bit further than that and we go and win another championship. That's the goal, obviously. But this will not be the final video, just the final video of the regular season. Now, getting on to the regular season, it is September 1st, which means September call-up time. And I've talked about in the past couple episodes who I was thinking about calling up. And I think the obvious choices to get called up are probably going to be, I mean, it could be fun to call up George Cruz just because he's one of our big-time prospects, one of our big-time draft picks, and it might be fun to have him on the squad. But other than that, I don't know what else we need to call up. Last episode, I screwed up some things with the roster because Yoenis Armstrong was back from injury, but he wasn't back fully, so I kind of messed some things up. That's why Dylan Lesko's up here right now. But it is what it is. And then we will call up probably... Let's get Brady House back up here. I feel like he deserves to be up here. So Brady House will get called up. And it's probably between Sal Frelick, Quintana, or George Cruz. Somebody in the outfield is going to get called up. I kind of want it to be Cruz just because I feel like that'd be pretty fun to have him on the big league club. So, and you know what? Since it's the final regular season, we might as well call him up. He gets his debut. He's not going to have a real debut because we're not going any further than this regular season. We're not going to next year. So he's not going to get an actual debut, so he might as well debut right now. And he will probably play in today's episode since we want to see him, obviously. So I don't know what game we're going to play. Probably something in the Guardians series because they are 12.5 games back, but when I decided to play the Guardians, we're not playing the Twins anymore, so I would play the Twins if we were playing the Twins, but I was going to play the Guardians this series or this season, end of the year, because I thought that they were going to be more involved in the central race, the division race, but it looks like they have had a slightly bad season, and we've just really turned things up in the month of August and stuff, so we've really had a good end of the year, but I'll still play them probably, since we can get a home game. We do have to take care of some business before that, though. We got a 3-game set at home against the Red Sox, and we will lose 2 of 3. That's not ideal. Not ideal. George Kirby finally lost his first game. I thought Kirby was going to go the entire year without losing a game. He finally loses his first game. And we get swept by the White Sox. Okay, I'm not really liking what's happening here. Keith Dell's injured. Okay, we won 2 of 3 against the Blue Jays. That's fine. What's the standings looking like? We have clinched a playoff appearance. So no matter what happens the rest of the season, the rest of this month, we will play in the postseason. So there will be a guaranteed next episode. And we sweep the White Sox here. So why do we get swept by the White Sox one week, and then the next week we sweep them. I don't understand. That's just baseball for you, I guess. But it's a big W. That is a big, big W. 97-50. We are getting close to clinching the division. And I think we're also getting close to clinching best record in baseball. The Dodgers have 91 wins, but then there's nobody else that... I guess the Cubs are 89. They're kind of close, but it's really the Dodgers are the threat to take the best record in all of baseball. We should certainly have it for best record in the American League. Astros series right here, and we take 2 of 3 against them, so we have 99 wins, and that has clinched the division and the best record in the league, and pretty much has clinched the best record in baseball, unless we lose every single game and the Dodgers win every single game. 99 wins in the final year is pretty darn impressive. That makes us the second most wins in all of the series, and how funny is it that we had 99 wins, at least right now, in a season where I thought we were going to have to blow it up at the trade deadline because of how the offseason went. But it turns out we've had one of our best seasons, and maybe our best season, because we still have 2 weeks of baseball, so we could certainly set the record for most wins in our rebuild. That'd be so funny that I thought that we were going to have to blow it up, and yet we've had the best record, or the best team by far, so in this series. Juan Soto's got a good shot at winning the MVP. George Kirby probably should win the MVP, but they're not going to give it to him unless he just he lowers that ERA a lot. That's the only way he can do it. He's almost certainly going to win the Cy Young. That's pretty much locked up at this point. We're not going to win a batting title unless Bobby Witt kills it with the average the next 2 weeks. Michael King, we're not going to win reliever of the year, unfortunately. Camilo Doval's probably not going to get it because he needs to lower that ERA. And I don't think that's going to happen. Rookie of the year, we're not going to win it, unfortunately. Yoenis Armstrong had a chance to win it, but he's just not going to with that injury that he had. Hank Aaron Juan Soto has a chance to win Hank Aaron. We're probably not going to win any Gold Gloves. We are going to win a couple batting titles, it looks like, or Silver Sluggers, I mean. But we probably aren't going to win too many awards, which is okay. It's not really about the individual awards. It's about the team awards, which is winning a championship. I don't even know what pitcher we're going to pitch with in this Guardians series. They are 16 games back of us. It doesn't really matter because we've won the division already. For the third time? How many times have we won the division? The third time, I think? Second time. The year we won the World Series, year 3, we won the division. Then last year we got beat out by or 2 years ago we got beat out by the Guardians. And then this past season we won the division. So back-to-back division titles is pretty cool. Are we going to pitch with Roki Sasaki? I don't want to pitch with Kirby. We've focused too much on Kirby so far because he's been having such a good season. So we could pitch. We haven't pitched with Reed Detmers in a while. I know we haven't pitched with Sasaki in a while either, but let's get to that final game against the Guardians. It's a 1-1 series right now. Man, George Kirby just will not lose a game. He lost the one game against the Red Sox, but every other game he just will not. He refuses to be on the mound when we are losing. But now we've officially reached the 100 win mark, so all we have to do is win 3 more games, right? 4 more games, and then we've got ourselves the best record. Yeah, all we have to do is win 4 games the rest of the season, and we've got the best record in our franchise's history, or in our rebuild history. Touki Toussaint will take on Reed Detmers in today's game. Do the Guardians have a City Connect jersey? They have a Jackie Robinson Day, and that is it. So they will rock their Road 94s? Yeah, let's rock the Road 94s for the Guardians. And then we will wear the old school 73 homes. That's what we will wear at Kauffman Stadium for the final time. Reed Detmers on the mound. And let's take out some players. So Elijah Green will come out. We'll get George Cruz's debut, I think, right? He hasn't subbed in. Oh, he's actually played a little bit. Okay, he's got 2 home runs in 4 games. 12 at-bats, 2 home runs, 4 at-bats. He's killing it. Let's see. Who else should we see? Brady House has already played. Harry Ford has already played. Herbert Don's played a bunch. Who do we want to see? We want to see all the regular guys. I think we'll just put George Cruz in. That's how we're going to rock it. Salvador Perez, obviously. And yeah, we are going to try to get 101 wins on the season, then go from there. The final regular season played game of the Kansas City Royals rebuild. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be emotional. Let's go get it.
And welcome into the ballpark. Happy to have you with us. The show brings you a matchup of division rivals. It's the Cleveland Guardians going up against the Kansas City Royals. John Sciambi and Chris Singleton on the call. And we got a rubber match on our hands today, partner.
Yeah, the final game of a 3-game set. They've split the first 2, and regardless of how important a series is within the larger picture of the season, it's a game you want to get up for. Every series win feels good, so we should see a fun matchup in this one.
All right, we'll be back to get this one started after this. About to get started here, and towing the slab in this one, Reed Detmers. What do you look for here?
His career ERA's been under 4. What I like most about him is his reliability. Takes the ball every 5th day, ready to go whenever the manager calls.
Okay, all set to go. Digging in, Ahmed Rosario.
The shortstop, Ahmed.
Here we go for the final time in the regular season. We will pitch with Reed Detmers, 152 on the season. Like I was talking about earlier, it's just crazy to me that in the offseason, I thought that this was going to have to be just a waste of a year. We were going to blow it up and then regroup for next year, but at that point, I didn't realize that there wasn't going to be a next year. This was going to be the final season, so I'm kind of glad we didn't blow it up. But before that, I mean, we performed so much better than I expected. I didn't think we had the talent to win 100 games this year. I thought we were going to be just kind of not like a bottom feeder, but just like a team that had big names on the roster but did not perform to the level that those guys are known to perform at. And I guess a lot of it is based on George Kirby having a historic season on the mound. That's probably has a lot to do with it. But then again, I mean, we had Juan Soto who's hit really, really well this year. We've had De La Cruz, who's done decently well this year. Bobby Witt's played really, really well. We've had Michael Harris before his injury was playing amazing. So, I mean, we just had a bunch of different guys that have played pretty well this year, and take that in combination with the division not being as difficult as it has been pretty much every single year up until this point. I mean, we had like a 3-year stretch where once we completed the rebuild and we were actually a competitive team, we had like a 3-year stretch where we were just in a dogfight with the Guardians for the division the entire year. But then this year, for some reason, Cleveland just didn't play well. They didn't win enough games, and we won more games than I expected us to win, and now look at us. We have 100 wins. Guardians are 16 games back, and we have clinched the division already with 2 weeks left to go. And the best record. And I'm hoping we can clinch best record in all of baseball if we continue to win just a few more games. All we're going to need to do is win a few more games, and then we've got best record in baseball. I'm going to send him to third. That's probably not the smartest idea, but it's an off throw, and Bo Bichette makes it. If that would have been on target, he probably would have been out. It's tough to say. He probably would have been out. I do like hitting against Touki Toussaint because he's not the greatest pitcher. He doesn't have great control on his stuff. His location is not amazing, so he tends to leave a lot of balls in meatball territory, and I like hitting against him. And I know, because I've had him in previous simulations and stuff, he doesn't really do too well. He's not the greatest pitcher. So, no disrespect to Touki Toussaint, but he's not the greatest pitcher. So if we can take advantage of that, capitalize on it, and score a bunch of runs, I would like that. I would like that a lot. 3-2 count to Vinny Pasquantino. Gonna have the green light here, and Vinny puts that into the outfield for a RBI single. Royals on the board here in the bottom of the first. 1-0. Good job, Vinny. And now it's Mr. Consistency, Michael Harris. We dubbed him Mr. Consistency because he just simply gets on base and performs. He produces a ton of output. He's production heavy. He's just one of the best players we've ever had in this series, that's for sure. I'm so happy we made the trade to get him. I'm glad that we had the assets to be able to get him because Byron Buxton was a big reason why we were able to get him. And look at that. I mean, he just puts it in spots where the outfielders can't grab it. And he's going to have himself an RBI single. That's 2-0 Royals in the bottom of the first. This is why I wanted to hit against Touki Toussaint. And here he is, George Cruz hitting .583 in 12 at-bats. He's got 2 home runs already in his career. Can he do any more? Can he do anything else in his career? I've liked hitting with him down in AAA. And now I'm going to try to hit with him here, but I struck out. That was my bad. That wasn't George Cruz's fault. I'm ruining your average there, George. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I got too greedy. I was trying to make something happen on every single pitch, and I shouldn't have done that. Salvador Perez, the captain, the lifeblood of the Kansas City Royals, will be the final out of the inning. But we got 2 runs to kick off the first. That's a good start. That gives Reed Detmers a little bit of breathing room. A little bit of cushion to fall back on as he takes on Brandon Lowe, 4, 5, and 6 to start the second for the Guardians. Here comes the slider, 2-2, and Brandon Lowe just made contact with that. I thought that was strike 3 guaranteed. Somehow he makes contact with it, and he puts it into beautiful territory in left field. Juan Soto has no shot at it. It's an automatic double. Honestly, that's probably the best scenario that could have happened right there, because if it didn't, it might have been a triple. 59 speed, he probably could have taken that to third base, and I think he's going to take it to third base here. Michael Harris slings it to third, but he's going to be safe by a mile. Stand up, and they got a runner on third already. All right, Keibert Ruiz, and Keibert will send that to the outfield. Harris is going to have himself a cannon. I don't know if he's got it. 59 speed. It's on target. Tag him. Oh, he just missed. He just missed. It was close. It was a bang-bang play. But MJ Melendez just missed the tag. And the Guardians will score a run to get back in this game, but Madrigal will strike out to Reed Detmer's slider. And that is the end of the inning. So the Guardians claw back in this one, 2-1. Bottom 2. MJ Melendez will lead off, and he will have himself quite the single past the shortstop Rosario into left center for a single. Bobby Witt hitting .309. He's kind of cooled off slightly. He was hitting like .320 something earlier in the month, or last month he was. Last episode he was hitting up there. I remember. But he's kind of cooled off a little bit, and it will continue as he flies out to right field there. Sometimes I make those mistakes. Elly De La Cruz, 0 for 1 today. Got a lot of sinkers. Sinker heavy last at bat. This time it'll be a grounder. He should have the speed to beat the throw. It's going to go right past Madrigal. What are you doing, you bozo? Oh, what are you doing? He just didn't even try. That was the worst barehanded attempt I've ever seen in my life. Elly De La Cruz will take advantage of it. It would have been a bang-bang play. I don't know if he would have been able to beat the throw or not. Probably not. But it doesn't matter. He didn't have to, because it goes right past the outstretched bare hand of Nick Madrigal. And we move to Bo Bichette. 1 out. Runners on first and second. 1-2 count. To the former All-Star. Stares at a curveball way outside. 2-2. Come on, Bo. You've been kind of inconsistent for me since we brought you to the squad. Some games you've been pretty awesome. Other games you've been kind of disappointing, and it will continue as you strike out right there. Okay. Juan Soto to the plate now. Juan Soto's got a lot on the line in this game. He's got to keep his award hopes alive as a curveball goes right down the middle, and I got too antsy, and I swung a slightly early. It says very early. I feel like it was just slightly early. Don't swing at that. That's going to be ball 2, right? Yep, ball 2. Thank you, third base umpire. Appreciate that. Appreciate your hard work, your dedication. 2-2 count to Soto. There's the pitch. Down low, Soto will have himself an RBI single. It'll be 3-1, Kansas City. Good job, Juan. That's what you needed to do. You needed to get on base, and you needed to have yourself an RBI single. Good job on you. Vinny Pasquantino has a chance to add an RBI to his day. Can he do it? Vinny into right center. That could drop, and it doesn't. George Valera makes the play. We only get one, but we do bring it back to a 2-run game. So I'll be happy about that. George Valera, the man who made the final out in the half inning, will come up to start the third for the Guardians. Let's see if we can strike him out here. Slider. Oh, he sends that to left field. Soto gonna go after it. He should have it, and he does. Out number 1 for the Guardians. Brian Velasquez. Not sure who this is, but he's hitting number 9 for Cleveland. Let's see if we can hit him on the sweeping curve, and we can. Strike 3, out number 2. Reed Detmers was such a consistent pitcher last year's postseason. I know we only went to the divisional round as he strikes out on Mount Rosario to end the inning. We only went to the divisional round last year, but he was the only reason why we had a chance in that divisional game, or in that divisional series. Roki Sasaki sucked. Whoever else we had sucked. I think even we had George Kirby, right? And he sucked. So Reed Detmers was the only reason we took it to 5 games in that series. And then this year had a pretty solid year, but this year's been all about Kirby. This year's been all about George Kirby and how he's got 21 wins, trying to go for like 22, 23 wins. That'd be awesome. He's pretty much all but guaranteed the Cy Young Award. It'd be so cool if he could win the MVP as well, but I doubt it. He's in the running, which is nice to see. At least they're giving him consideration. But he's not going to win it. Unless he just his last 2 starts of the season, he has like a 0 ERA in both of those games, and he lowers his season ERA to like under 2. That would probably be the only way he could win the MVP. But I doubt that's going to happen. So it'll go to a position player, which it usually does. But at least we'll get the Cy Young. So that's nice. We got back-to-back Cy Youngs because Roki won it last year. So that'll be nice, having back-to-back Cy Young Award winners. I'm going to send my boy to third here. 84 speed, should be able to make it, and he does. Good job, big boy. And now we got Bobby Witt ready to go. 2-1. Runners on first and third. 2 down in the inning. Bobby Witt, grounder to third base. Does he beat the throw? They're going to go to the easy way to second, which is understandable. And that's the end of the inning. Okay. Rightio, Ranger Joe. We go top 4, 3-1 lead over Cleveland. Grounder to Ellie De La Cruz at second. He fields onto first. And Josh Rojas down for the first out of the inning. Steve Kwan steps to the plate. One of my arch nemeses. And he will have a horrible bunt attempt that pops into the infield. And Reed Detmers makes the play. Not a textbook bunt by Stephen Kwan. A little bit interesting. Usually he's pretty concise and pretty deliberate with where he puts his pitches or where he puts the ball. But he just screwed that one up. And now we can try to get Brandon Lowe out on a 2-2 slider, and we got him. Strike 3. Reed Detmers has pitched pretty well. Other than that automatic double that led to the RBI, he's pitched pretty well. They bring in John Means, the former Baltimore Orioles starter, and I think he's played other places. I think he was in New York for a little bit. I'm not sure. But the former Baltimore Orioles starter here in 2027, 2028, something like that, is coming out of the bullpen for the Cleveland Guardians. Very interesting. They pulled Tuki Tucson, which is not a surprise. I told you in the beginning how I liked hitting against him because he's kind of inconsistent, and it proved it again today. As Bo Bichette will have himself a 1-out double. Stand up. Good job. Let's see if we can score him. Let's see if we can score him. Juan Soto had an RBI last time he was up. Let's see if we can do the same thing here. And score Bo Bichette. Soto into right field. That'll be fair. Almost. I didn't mean fair. That'll be foul. I was trying to manifest it in my mind, so I said fair. That'll be a foul ball, but Soto will move the runner to third, so Bo's on to third. That's unfortunate. I was hoping Soto would get another RBI. Whatever. Vinny's got a chance to get the RBI now. Come on, Vinny. I know you got it in you. Score me An RBI here. Down low. In front of the center fielder, Valera. It'll fall, and we've got a 4-1 lead over the Cleveland Guardians here in Game 3 of this final series against them. Pasquantino scores it. 4-1 Royals lead. Michael Harris is up. He's 2 for 2 today. And Michael Harris will stare at a circle change inside for a ball. What else can we do with this? Can we score another run here? Michael Harris past the shortstop Rosario. And Michael Harris is 3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, that's why we dubbed him Mr. Consistency. Because he does stuff like that. George Cruz, 0 for 2 today. The rookie trying to get on track. Can he get on track with this swing? He might be able to. Strike 3, froze the rookie. And froze me too. I didn't think that was going to be a strike. So George Cruz 0 for 3 today, but we've gotten another run. It's 4-1. We have 12 hits on the day. We are in control in this one. As Anthony Santander will lead off the top of the 5th for Cleveland. Reed Detmers with the circle change gets Santander swinging and missing. And that is a strikeout to start the inning. Ruiz is up next. He sends that to left field. Soto makes the play. Sometimes they let that bounce before they get it. Luckily, we were right there to grab it for the second out. Madrigal is up next. 9-year career with 6 different teams. For the former White Sox, Atlanta Brave, obviously Cleveland Guardian. Where else was he at? Was he in Baltimore ever? Nick Madrigal. I know he's been in. He's the one that the team that I remember the most is the White Sox, but I think he was in New York for a little bit. As far as the Yankees go, I think he was a Yankee. Where else was he at? I'm pretty sure he was a Brave for a season or two. What other teams? Was he ever a Ranger? No, I don't think he was ever a Ranger. Was he a Pirate? He might have been a Pirate for a little bit during one of their many losing seasons. I don't think he was ever a Cardinal. He might have been a Cub. He might have been a Cub for a season. I think that's true. I think he played for both Chicago teams. As MJ Melendez swings and misses on a bad strike or a bad ball, and I strike out there. I know for a fact that he's a White Sox, a Cub, and a Brave. And then obviously we know he's a Guardian. So that's 4 teams. Oh my God, Bobby Witt. Santa Maria. Center field 2-run homer. I wasn't even prepared for that. I was talking about Nick Madrigal. A 2-run homer off the pitch of John Means. And the Royals lead 6-1. Okay, that's not what I expected. Bobby Witt with a guaranteed no-doubter. All right, I'll take that all day. All day. Not what I expected whatsoever. Ooh, that's clean. That is clean. And they pull John Means after that. They bring in Aaron Savale, another former starter now in the bullpen. The Royals are on top of things here in the bottom of the 5th. But back to Nick Madrigal. I want to figure this out. So he's played, we know for a fact that he's played for the White Sox, the Cubs, the Braves, and the Guardians. I don't know if he's played for the Guardians in real life. I know they counted him because he's played here in the series. So that's 4 out of 6 teams. What 2 other teams did Madrigal play for in his career? He's played for, that's a stupid strikeout. He's played for, did he ever play for the Angels? I feel like that could be right. But then again, it feels kind of wrong. It feels like he didn't play for them. Where else did Nick Madrigal play? Did he play for the Orioles? For some reason, I feel like, oh my God, I'm sucking so bad with these swings. I feel like he did play for Baltimore. That just feels like a right answer. I might have to look this up after the game. Or I guess we can just take a look at his player card. You know what? Let's just do that. Let's just pause the game, look at his player card, and figure out how many teams he's played for. So Nick Madrigal has played for Cleveland, the Angels, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Cubs. So he never played for the Yankees. He never played for the Braves. So I was kind of correct with the Angels. I didn't know that obviously these are all teams that he played for in our series. He hasn't played for these teams in real life. He's only ever played for the White Sox and the Cubs in real life. I feel like I thought I saw him in a Braves uniform. I guess not. Okay, so I wouldn't have probably ever gotten the Padres or Diamondbacks, but at least now we know. We now know the teams that he played for. The Guardians, the White Sox, the Cubs, the Angels, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks are the teams that Nick Madrigal's played for. That is now out of questioning. I was determined to get that, but I guess I was thinking he played for more teams in real life than he actually did. As Bobby Witt throws that on to first, Brian Velasquez is out. Ahmed Rosario up, 2 down in the top of the 6th. I don't even know how long Reed Detmers is going to go for. He's still into the green for his energy, so he's looking pretty tasty. He's feeling good. It's skyline time as Bo Bichette will slide and miss that, or dive and miss that. And Rosario has himself a 2-out single. Josh Rojas to the plate, 1-1. He slides that foul. And speaking of slide, we'll give him a slider. And it's ball 2. How do you not chase that? The slider's been so enticing today for a lot of different hitters. I think including Josh Rojas. We'll go the easy way to second. Got Ahmed Rosario out. And that is the end of the top of the 6th for Cleveland. We go bottom 6, up 6-1. With Aaron Savali still on the mound. They probably didn't make the right decision going to Josh Means, but whatever. They thought it was going to work. They thought that they could bring out a veteran arm and he would be able to get some outs, but he did not do that. He allowed a lot of runs, and he might, Savali might have allowed a run here, but nope. I can never get those to go, can I? They just never go the way that I want them to. They feel good off the bat, but then they don't go as far as I think that they could. Ooh, diving attempt by Madrigal at second base. He doesn't make it, and it gets passed into center field for a 1-out single for Pasquantino. Love to see it. Michael Harris, Mr. Consistency, has a 3-2 count, and he's 3 for 3 today. What can Michael Harris do? He will walk and take his base. So he stays 3 for 3, and his on-base percentage is going crazy right now. George Cruz has a chance to get an RBI here. Maybe even a couple if he hits it right. George Cruz into left field. He's going to get one. But that'll be all he gets. An RBI for the rookie. It's 7-1 Kansas City. Good job from the young rook. And now we go from young rookie to seasoned veteran. The multiple-time world champion Salvador Perez. The Kansas City Ring of Honor member, the probably Baseball Hall of Famer, if we're being totally honest. Maybe not in real life, but maybe he'd get in real life. I don't know. Certainly in this series, he's done enough. He's got an extra World Series. He's got a few more All-Star games. He's done enough. He's won some Gold Gloves. He's got some Silver Sluggers. He's got enough to be an All-Star or an MVP. Not an MVP. What am I saying? He's got enough to be a Hall of Famer in this series. And he gets on base to make it runners on first and second, 1 out for MJ Melendez. So we had the former catcher, the past, and now we have the present, MJ Melendez. And he fouls off the sinker, 2-2. Come on there, MJ. I know you got it in you. All you got to do is hit this baseball into the outfield for a base hit, and he doesn't do it. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Savali goes down low, and it works out for him. I mean, to be fair, Means put that ball right in the perfect spot for Bobby Witt to take that yard. Cutter down low, ball 2. We've left 8 runners on base. That is just depressing. Too many ducks on the pond. Bo Bichette fouls off that one very early on. That could have been another home run, if we're being honest, if I wasn't early. That could have been another homer. 2-2. Bichette sends it to shortstop. Rosario Fields on to second. And that is the end of the inning. But we got another RBI. So it's 8-1 as we go top 7 in Kansas City. Kauffman Stadium playing host to the Guardians and Royals as Steven Kwan pops that into foul territory for Pasquantino to grab. Brandon Lowe, he's got a 1-1 count. Ooh, ball 2. Let's go a little two-seamer. We haven't thrown the two-seamer at all today. So let's throw it for the first time, and it's called ball 2 or ball 3, excuse me? Are you kidding? How was that a ball? That was perfectly in the zone. Perfectly in the zone. That couldn't have been more in the zone. I guess MJ didn't do a very good job of framing the pitch, and now that got away from us, and Brandon Lowe will take a base. 1-1 to Anthony Santander. Bo Bichette fields onto second, onto first, double play, inning over just like that. And Reed Detmers has gone 7 innings of pretty good baseball, allowing just the 1 run. He really shouldn't even allow that one, but that inning kind of got away from us when that automatic double led off the inning. De La Cruz sends that one into right center. Valera giving chase, and he's got it for the first out. I just can't find anything consistent with De La Cruz. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I can't get it. Bo Bichette, 2 for 4, and Bo makes it 3 for 5 with a single into center field, 1 out single. That's what I like to see, because that brings up Juan Soto. And you know Juan Soto's got it in him. He's got it all up in him. Soto with the ball in right field. What a snag by the first baseman. Oh my good heavens. Good golly, Miss Molly. That was crazy. That's called quick reflexes. 3 for 4 for Vinny Pasquantino. 2 down in the inning. And Vinny gets a meatball that I was late on. Luckily, he will get another chance because that goes foul. That was right there. That sinker could have been smoked. But it did not go the way that I wanted to, and I pressed the swing button, but I guess I didn't press it hard enough, and it counts as a check swing. All right, we go top 8. I'm gonna leave Reed Detmers in. We'll warm up Crochet and we'll warm up Romano, but I'm gonna lead Reed in for the 8th. He's still got good enough energy to make it through the inning. Ruiz sends that to third on a grounder. Bobby Witt fields on to first out. Nick Madrigal's up, little short guy. See what he can do with the fastball. He sends it to foul territory down the left field side. And we'll give him a slider. There's no way he's going to hit this. Absolutely zero chance he hits this. And he hits this. Okay, so there was maybe there was a 1% chance he hit it. And he did. He hit it. 1 out single. George Valera's up next. Check swing, called strike 2. Thank you, third base umpire. He's been coming up clutch for me today. Multiple different occasions, he's given me good, favorable calls. Valera sends the slider foul. We'll give him the sweeping curve, and he thought about it for a split second, but he doesn't go for it. 2-2 circle change into left field past Bo Bichette. It's a base hit, and the Guardians are mounting a comeback, or the beginnings of a comeback. Brian Velasquez playing first base for Cleveland. Made that amazing snag against Juan Soto last inning. I don't think they would send him to third here, and they're not going to, but I'll throw it there anyway. He would have been safe if they would have sent him. 2 down in the inning. Come on, Reed. I need you to get one more guy out. That's all you need to do. And Ahmed Rosario to left field. Soto going after it. Juan Soto at the wall makes the catch. Oh, my God. That could have been dangerous. But Soto does it. He saves us a huge embarrassment there of allowing even more runs. And we will schedule Garrett Crochet to come in for the 9th. But that could have been ugly. That could have been ugly, especially on Detmers' ERA. Because he's pitched super well today. Other than that single, or that the automatic double that led to the RBI. He has pitched really well, and that should drop in front of Valera, and it will. Big base hit for Michael Harris. He is 4 for 4 with a walk. I told you, Mr. Consistency is Michael Harris. It's just that simple. It's what he does. It's just what he does. George Cruz grounder. That's going to be a double play. Ahmed Rosario to Madrigal over to first, and Velasquez gets the second out. So unfortunately, the rookie grounds into a double play, and that's just what happens, man. The rookie's a little inexperienced. It's not like I ground to a double play every single time. I feel like I have grounded into double play every single game or every single episode for like 3 seasons in a row. That just feels like what's happened. Salvador Perez will swing and miss, strike 3, but we go to the top of the 9th. Garrett Crochet will come in to close the door on the Guardians. That's a big strike 3 on Rojas to start the inning. We got Steven Kwan on a 1-1. He had that embarrassing bunt last time he was up. And now he sends that into shallow center field for Bo Bichette to go and grab. Sun is no problem for Mr. Bichette, and he will make the second out. Brandon Lowe, final out possibly for Cleveland, and he swings way out in front of that fastball. I don't know what he was sitting on, but it was not a fastball. Maybe a fastball thrown by Chapman. That's going to be a grounder on to De La Cruz. And that's the ball game. The Kansas City Royals will win and take the series 2-1 over Cleveland. Big performance by Reed Detmers, 8 strong innings, only allowing the 1 run. Probably about, 3 or 4 hits I think he allowed. But that's a big W. Big W for the boys. 4 hits allowed. Tuki Toussaint gets the loss, and we are looking pretty tasty. Good job by Reed Detmers. I'm really happy we made the trade for Reed Detmers, or signed. I think we signed him in free agency, because he's been pretty good for us the past couple of years. All right, now it's time to end the season. We've got ourselves a 3-game set against the Astros. We will take 2 of 3 against them. The Storm Chasers, 86-64, won the division. That's nice. Oh, both AA teams make the playoffs. Good for them. We go 2 of 3 against the Astros. We have now tied our record from last season. 1-2 reeks for Pete Crow Armstrong. Storm Chasers got eliminated. We take 2 of 3 against the Tigers, and we have officially set the record for most wins in our rebuild history. 105 is now the point. We have 3 more games, so the most we can get is 108, and obviously the least we can get is 105. Armstrong has another injury. Man, this guy is injury prone. MJ Melendez, on the second to last game of the season, dislocates his ankle. Wow. On the second to last game of the season, MJ Melendez has dislocated his ankle, and he is out for his career, basically, because this is the final. He's not going to play in the postseason. Well, that's not ideal, is it? Luckily, we have Harry Ford, who can start at catcher for the postseason. But that is not what I was expecting or wanting. You know what? I'm going to call it Babe Lance. I've wanted Babe Lance up here for a while, and he's going to get called up. He's 6'5", so I'm excited to use him. He's got 94 contact versus righties, which is cool. The AA team is in the playoffs, by the way. That's pretty awesome. Final game of the season is George Kirby. We don't have 4 valid lineups because MJ Melendez is out. So we will have, where's he at? Harry Ford will start at catcher for the playoffs. That's unfortunate. I like MJ Melendez. I know we've been talking about previous episodes probably trading him, but he's a good player. I do like him. And we lose to the Yankees, but we win 106 games, won the division, and take on the winner of the wild card. I'd say we had pretty successful season. I'm going to go through, like I always do, and pass through these awards or these league leaders. You can see anybody that you want, pause it if you want to see specifically, like take a little bit longer. We have a lot of players that led in a bunch of different attributes or a bunch of different league leads, which is nice. We led in, I think obviously George Kirby led in a bunch of different things because he just had the greatest season of all time. But we led in a couple different hitting stats as well. All right, there's the league leaders. Award winners. It has been confirmed George Kirby won the Cy Young, and Juan Soto has stolen the MVP. Wow, I didn't think he was going to get it. I thought we would get screwed, but Juan Soto won the MVP. Congratulations to him. Man, Reed Detmers really made a climb for the Cy Young, but we go back-to-back with players winning the Cy Young. George Kirby, 22-2. What a season. Julio Rodriguez wins the batting title. Michael King is the reliever of the year. Ryan Murphy, rookie of the year. Vladdy Jr. takes the Hank Aaron from Juan Soto. Gold Glove pitcher is Jose Barrios. Catcher Soderstrom. Benito Noova First base, Tyler Black. Second base, Ryan McMahon. Third base, Jackson Holliday. Shortstop. Left field, Stephen Kwan. Center field, Justin Crawford. And Alexander Canario is the right field. Silver Slugger, DH, Anthony James. Catcher, Jake Rogers. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., first base. Second base, Brendan Rodgers. Jose Ramirez, third base. Bo Bichette, for the countless amount of times, is the shortstop. Juan Soto in the outfield along with Julio Rodriguez and Austin Hayes. Here are your National League winners. It is Tyler Stevenson won the MVP last year? I don't remember that at all. Ronald Acuna Jr. wins the MVP in the National League. Cy Young is Trevor Rogers. Acuna gets the batting title. Johan Duran gets the reliever of the year. Robbie Kane wins the rookie of the year. And Acuna goes for the Triple Crown as he wins the Hank Aaron as well. Good for him. Gold Glove pitcher is Josiah Gray. Catcher is Alejandro Kirk. First base, Ty France. Tamar Johnson. Second base, third base, Nicky Lopez. Former Royal Nicky Lopez for a couple seasons. Shortstop is Tommy Edman. Dalton Varsho is left field. Brennan Davis, center field. Right field, Jake McCarthy. Silver Slugger DH is Shohei Ohtani. Tyler Stevenson wins catcher. Pete Alonso, first base. Ozzie Albies, second base. Munetaka Murakami is third base. Tommy Edman, shortstop. Ronald Acuna, outfield, along with Mookie and Ryan Reynolds. Those are all of your awards. Now, to wrap up the episode, we can take a look at the good old-fashioned stats. Why did it change, my guys? Who is this? Oh, Salvador Perez finally retired. Salvador Perez retired. He did it. Oh, he didn't do it. He's just in the AAA now. Get to the playoff roster. What are you doing? He didn't retire. He's just not on the playoff roster. Can I remove him from the... Oh, I can't remove him from the playoff roster. So now we have to take somebody off the playoff roster. Did they take anybody else down that I didn't want them to? I don't want Sal Frelick on the playoff roster. I don't want Quintana on the playoff roster, do I? Who do they have as starters? Who do they have that I don't have? Oh, Walter. Walter, get on the playoff. What are you doing, Walter? Get up there. I didn't even notice him. Good thing I looked. I would have been kind of upset. So I don't want... I want Eric Morales on here too. Why did they change my playoff roster? I don't want Quintana up here. I don't think. No, Quintana can move down off the playoff roster. Who else do we need? We need to move on one more guy off the playoff roster. It's probably going to be Dylan Lesko, for being honest. All right, there we go. So now we've got our playoff roster situated. Love to see it. Love to see it. Wait. Where is... Hold on. Where is Jordan Romano? I almost missed him. You almost caught me there, big boy. Almost caught me there. Romano will make it back. That's better. That's better. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats. Elly De La Cruz. He got up to a 94 overall in this series. That's nice. 24 home runs, 69 RBIs. Nice. 281 average. Not as good as he's had last season, but, I mean, it's still a very, very good season for him. Pretty good numbers. I just didn't really get on with him in actual games, but he played pretty well in the simulation. Bo Bichette dropped off tremendously with his home run production, but other than that, he kept pretty consistent with everything else, even hit better, and had a decent OBP, decent enough OPS. He had a fine season. Juan Soto won the MVP, obviously. 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, 307. It's crazy that he didn't win the MVP last year when he had a better statistical season in every single category, and he didn't win the MVP, but he won it this year where he kind of dropped off a little bit in production on every single category. That's kind of funny. Vinny Pasquantino, 16 home runs. He's just getting a little bit older. He's 30 years old. He's certainly not doing as good as he did last year, that's for sure. I think that was just an anomaly of a season. I mean, look at his production the past couple of seasons, and then boom, all of a sudden 33 home runs, 100 RBIs, and he drops back down to 16 and 60. That's kind of funny. Michael Harris II, he's the poster boy for consistency, basically. He is the poster boy. I mean, look at this OBP. 336, crazy. He's just really good. He's just the best. I love him. Elijah Green, 18 home runs, 66 RBIs. That's a good season from a guy in his first full year in the bigs. Then you got yourself Harry Ford, who, to be fair, didn't really play much because obviously we had MJ Melendez. Bobby Witt, 40 doubles is kind of crazy. 21 home runs, 98 RBIs, a 305 average, which is the best of his entire career. I think he had the best statistical season of his entire career. I mean, I know he had a few more home runs here and there, but these other counting stats are the best of his entire career, so I'd say he's pretty good. That's my take on Bobby Witt. Pretty good. And then we go to the, what do we have here? DH. We need to put Walter back in DH, because I think Salvador's just going to be a hindrance if we have him in DH, so we'll have Walter in DH. And then we can take a look at Walter as well. 15 home runs, 61 RBIs. I'm just glad that I finally hit a home run with him. He was our first ever draft pick in this entire series, was Walter, our first round pick. 279 average. He won the Rookie of the Year as well. He's been pretty fun to have. Pretty fun to have. All right, let's take a look at some of these bench guys. Eduardo Corona didn't really play too much. Babe Lance obviously didn't play at all because he just got up here. Salvador Perez had 211 at-bats, 12 home runs, 30 RBIs. To be fair, getting that many home runs and RBIs is pretty impressive considering he's not that good anymore. So I'll count it. He's certainly not putting up the production he was doing at the beginning of the series. He had a decent average for his age, and he was okay. He's Salvador Perez. Eric Morales, 14 home runs, 52 RBIs, 249. Good enough. And then George Cruz. So he didn't hit any more home runs at the end of the season, but he did get another RBI. He had finished with a 500 average in 20 at-bats. All right. Herbert Don, 9 home runs, 18 RBIs. Another guy that we drafted, 283 average. And now we go to the starting pitchers in the bullpen. Roki Sasaki, 12-7 on the year. Certainly not as good as his Cy Young season last year, but still good enough. He certainly had a better average last year, obviously, but he kind of got blown up a little bit here. 364 average. George Kirby, I mean, what else can we say? 22-2 was his finishing record. That is actually crazy. That is actually crazy, the fact that George Kirby went 22-2. 2.76 ERA. Kind of insane. Kind of insane. And he won the Cy Young. Probably should have won the MVP too. No disrespect to Juan Soto, but he probably should have won it too. Reed Detmers finishes with 19-6 record, which is, he just got better and better. He just kept getting better and better. I'm glad that we got him. These 2 seasons have been really, really good for us. He has pretty high averages, but that seems to be just what he does. He just has these high averages, or these high ERAs, but he's getting wins. He's getting the wins when we need him to. Eldon Williamson, 11-9 in his first season here in Kansas City, 3.55 ERA. I like Eldon Williamson. I think he's going to do well in the postseason. At least I hope he does. But I don't think he's going to cost us anything. At least I don't think he will. Yoenis Armstrong had a chance to win the Rookie of the Year this year. Got injured. I think he tore a finger ligament in his hand. And missed a lot of time. Missed about 2 months, I think, of action. Maybe 2.5 months. I don't know. But he finishes with a 9-5 record in 21 starts, 108 strikeouts, a 4.49 ERA. If he would have played the entire year, he probably would have won Rookie of the Year, and he probably would have had maybe 13-plus wins, 14-plus wins, I would say. He was on track to probably do that. And then in the bullpen, we got Dylan Coleman, who's just been here the entire time just because I like throwing with him, even though we haven't really seen him in any actual gameplay for a while. I do like Dylan Coleman. Zach Little we brought in a couple years ago out of free agency, and he's been pretty consistent for us. He had a really good year this year. Matt Foster had another pretty solid year. 11 wins, 3 losses. He must have been coming in for in relief of a lot of like Roki Sasaki games or something like that. 30-34 ERA, pretty decent whip, pretty decent WAR. Garrett Crochet, 5 wins, no losses, 22 holds, a 3.30 ERA with a 1.18 whip, and a 1 WAR. Jordan Romano had a 1-5 record, 23 holds. I like Jordan Romano, but he's getting a little too old at this point. And then Camilo Doval, the all-star closing pitcher, 51 saves, by far his best as a Royal, and the best of his career. 7 blown saves is a lot, but not as many as he had in 2024. Pretty good season from him. He had a little bit of a high ERA, but I mean, it's going to be hard to top what he did last year with the 1.95. But he did pretty good this year, and I'm very proud of him. So that is your stats, your awards, and everything you need to know about what happened this season. Next episode will be the ALDS. But will we play the Twins or will we play the Guardians? Please let it be the Twins. And it's the Cleveland Guardians. The AA team just won the championship, though, so good for them. It will be the Cleveland Guardians. For the second year in a row, we will take on the Cleveland Guardians in the ALDS. Last season, if you remember, they beat us in the ALDS. That's why we lost. They beat us in the ALDS, but that will not happen this time. We will go and take a W in this series, and I'm going to make George Kirby my number 1, and I'm going to make Reed Detmers my number 2. Sasaki will be 3, then Eldon Williamson, then Armstrong. We're going to lead with Kirby, and then he'll play Game 5 if we need to go to Game 5, but I'm hoping we don't need to. If you guys are unfamiliar with how it works in the postseason on the Kansas City Royals side of things, it's different than the Mets. We go division per episode. So we play the ALDS. All 5 games, we quick manage each one, and that's the video. If the playoffs only last the ALDS, then it's a short video. Then the next episode, if we move on to the ALCS, all of the ALCS is in that video. And then the next video after that, hopefully, would be the World Series. And then the entirety of the World Series is in that video, unless we make it to a Game 7, which will be its own separate video where we play the entire game and try to win it in Game 7. So that's how the playoffs work over on the Royals side of things. I know the Mets series is a little different where we play the entire postseason in one video, but we do things a little bit slower over here on the Kansas City side of things. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and I'm hoping next episode will start our journey to our one final World Championship. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.